Angeles, it's the Herd, wherever you may be and however you may be listening. Fox Sports Radio, iHeartRadio, FS1. Alex Curry in for Joy Taylor today. I will say this. Everybody wants to be an expert on COVID. I have no idea. I've watched it for a year, decimate businesses. I will say this. Today is the first day I feel incredibly hopeful. 77% COVID plummeting. It's down 77% in the last 6 weeks. There's an article today that herd immunity and vaccines, and this is right in the middle of the winter. This is when we thought it was going to be the worst. This is February. You know, viruses all in warm weather don't spread as often. We know that, right? You're not getting it off surfaces. Warm weather outdoors is good to kill a virus. So it's down 77%. Vaccines are now available at a much higher percent. The governor of California, and we've been incredibly restrictive, now you can play high school sports as of March.
That's amazing.
It's amazing.
That's awesome.
For all the kids to get out there, this has been so tough on kids and families. You know, my kids are out of that space. My kids now, they don't want to be anywhere near me. So, but when you get kids that are 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, those early high school years where sports and social situations are so big for kids.
It's so important.
It's been so punitive against families with young kids. So first day today, I feel like I see the horizon. I see the end of it. It's plummeting. The vaccines are out there. Some are speculating, Washington Post today, herd immunity is greater than we think. I have no idea. I'm just telling you what I'm hearing. But today I feel optimistic about, listen, man, this has been a crazy last 12, 13 months. Today, I feel like positive. Today's a very good day potentially for America. And so it's not a political statement. It's just what I'm reading today makes me very, very happy. By the way, a lot of you are saying, Colin, why are you're so goofy on the Carson Wentz to Indianapolis? You're way too optimistic. Here's my rule in life. I listen to successful people. If somebody that had been successful in radio management for 20 years called me and said, I think your show's bad, I'd listen. If somebody on the internet says it that's never worked in radio, what do I care? My financial advisor, my doctor, I rely on people who have been successful over and over and over and over and over. That's how I live my life. That's why trolls don't bother me. If you've never been successful in my space, what would I care about your opinion? What do I care? All opinions are not valid and all opinions aren't equal. So why do I like Carson Wentz to Indy? It's not terribly difficult to figure out because Frank Reich has been successful over and over and over and over. So Andrew Luck's most efficient year as an NFL quarterback was with Frank Reich. He had his highest completion percentage, his best passer rating. He was sacked the least amount of times and the best TD interception ratio, second yards passing per game. So Andrew Luck, best year with Frank Reich. Carson Wentz had his best year with Frank Reich. He was 11-2. It was his best TD to interception ratio. He was sacked the least amount of times and had his second best passer rating. Reich was the Eagles' OC. Even old, creaky, can't move Phillip Rivers in the last year of his career. Now remember, this is the last year. He had his fourth best win-loss record, his third best completion percentage, sacked the second fewest times in his career, and his sixth best pass rate. And again, that's at the end. I mean, Phillip didn't have much of a fastball left, and he did this. And oh, by the way, Phillip Rivers, in fact, I put this down somewhere this morning, had his best completion percentage ever when he was in San Diego and Reich was the quarterback coach. So I've always looked, are you successful over and over at something? Whether it's a tax attorney, it's a landscaper, it's an accountant. If you keep being successful at something, I'm going to presume you're going to keep being successful. And Carson Wentz and Andrew Luck are very similar players. They're a little reckless. They're big. They take big chances. They're wickedly talented. They're going to ad-lib sometimes out of trouble and sometimes into trouble. Luck and Wentz are very similar players. I like Luck more than Wentz, but Wentz is super talented. They went to non-traditional football powers, right? They didn't go to Alabama, Ohio State, Oklahoma. So it's real easy. Frank Reich equals good quarterback play. That's why I like it. Again, it's why I don't listen to trolls. If you're not successful, why do I care about your opinion? I listen to successful coaches, successful tax people, successful doctors, successful broadcast executives. That's what I rely on for my advice and my opinions. All right, Andrew Whitworth, 15th NFL season, probably going to end up getting a lot of Hall of Fame votes. He is now joining us live. We haven't talked to him in a while. Last time I talked to Andrew Whitworth, he was protecting a different quarterback. So you got a different quarterback. So let's just start with this. First of all, I hope your off season's going well. I see a nice case of wine behind you. It looks like you're enjoying the finer things in life. Am I right there?
There you go. Hey, taking a page out of your book, man.
So let's start with this. You were close with Jared Goff. We both like Jared Goff. Were you shocked the Rams moved off Jared Goff?
Yeah, I think it's one of those things as a player, you're used to your locker room and the guys that are in it that you spent time with. And anytime there's a change, I think it's shocking to the guys and you almost can't believe it for the first couple of days that it's going to be different. But one of the things that's always held true in my 15 years in the league is that it's going to be a different locker room every single time you come back for a new season. And it's just one of the things I think that's tough as a young player to get used to. And it's one of those that I think, the Rams decided that the best thing for them to do is to move in a different direction. And as a player, all you can do is, enjoy the time you had with Jared. And obviously he's a great young man, wish him nothing but the best, but also get to know Matt Stafford and look forward to the opportunity they have there with him.
Okay, so Jared was well-liked. He was a hard worker. People liked him. Are you concerned at all? Matt Stafford comes in, no relationships in the room. What do you know about Matt Stafford? What do you know about his style, his personality? What do you know about him?
Well, I think for Matt, it's somebody I actually know pretty well. One of his closest friends in life was my left guard in Cincinnati with the Cincinnati Bengals in Clint Bowling, and they played at Georgia together. So I've known Matt for a while and know what a competitor he is and really his personality. I think that he's somebody that's been a leader. You look in Detroit, I saw here recently some guys have come out and said he was the most favorite teammate they had while they played in the NFL. And I think it's one of those things you see him as somebody people gravitate towards. And I think it'll be pretty seamless for guys getting to know Matt and understanding what he's about.
Now, Sean McVay's system, and we know this, Andrew, almost as a general rule. Brady's the exception. Generally, you go to a team with a new offense, and it's the second year that it pops. So what will be that playbook with Sean McVay. What will be the biggest challenges for Stafford and your offense in the new playbook? What's going to be tough for him? What shouldn't be?
Well, I think that really for Matt, I think it's going to be that he's played in a lot of systems. That's a benefit to us is that he's had some different coaches. He's been through some change there in Detroit. So I think he's got a pretty deep understanding of a lot of the offenses in the NFL. And for us, it's going to be getting used to him and his style and maybe even everything from cadences to the style he likes to communicate with on the field and kind of understanding each other. I think that's one of the things as an offense that you get to. And then also with us, we do a lot at the line of scrimmage play. I mean, there's a lot of fast, up-tempo things going on. And it's going to be how do we communicate with one another, understand the way he wants to talk about plays or maybe the way he sees them. And I think getting on that same page, that'll be something big for him coming in, is really playing in that up-tempo, on-the-ball offense and getting to understand the terminology that we've been used to. And if there's anything that maybe he likes to communicate in a different way.
When Sean McVay came in, he is this boy wonder, but then reality sets in. You got to win games and win your division, and you guys just happen to be in the toughest division in football. And at the end of this year, I just talked to Les Snead for about 30 minutes the other day. He's like, the reality is the Rams now, the expectations are win the division. Sean McVay, win playoff games. Did you feel at the end, because I thought you guys actually played well at the end of the year. You gave Green Bay a real fight. Did you sense at the end of the year, expectations have changed a little, Andrew? It's like, now you got to win multiple playoff games with the Rams. This is not just getting into the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, I played in Cincinnati, went to the playoffs, 5 seasons in a row, won a couple division championships, and it was all about win the playoff game, And here in L.A., it's like we won that playoff game against Seattle, and it was almost like people were just like, good win, but not a real big deal. It's one of those things that I think our expectation is to go to the NFC Championship game and try to win it and get ourselves in the Super Bowl every year. And anything short of that, You're obviously upset even if you get to the championship game and lose, but we expect to be playing in that game for an opportunity to go to the Super Bowl. And anything short of that's not enough. And I think that's really where things have changed, is that those expectations continue to rise. And take nothing away from Jared Goff. I mean, the guy won 40-something games over the last 4 years. He did a heck of a job, but I think that the expectations continue to rise, and I think that's what the Rams are looking for when they tried to say, hey, we're going to make a bold move and say that maybe this is what gets us over that edge to where every year we're competing in that title game. By
the way, you had missed 7 games last year with an injury. You could certainly retire. You've obviously done well for yourself. Are you going to play? Because it's funny. You were a topic of conversation the other day with your general manager. I was on the phone, and I said, "Look, I'm looking at your roster, and I don't think if Andrew retires, I don't think you have a guy behind him. Not that's left tackle's third or fourth most important position on the field. Are you playing? Is Matt Stafford going to have you protecting his butt? I guess is what I'm asking."
Well, Colin, I'm one of those guys, I keep it real. So obviously it's an off season. It's you got to get, I believe that no matter whether you've played 15 years or 2 years, you earn your spot every week. And so I'm going to work with the preparation to play this season. That's the mentality and the attitude. But obviously everything has to go right and everything has to keep moving in a great direction to be there and be able to play at the level that I expect. So, yeah, that's the plan. But nothing's guaranteed. So I look forward to each and every day getting that opportunity to fight for that spot and leading this football team next fall.
You love football, though. You were pained not playing. You love football.
Yeah, I mean, if I look